Basing in the salon, it helps slow down the process of possible damage to the scalp. And that's my specialty. I'm a trichologist. I'm certified in trichology, which is the study of hair. Hair's weaknesses, scalp's weaknesses, and disorders. So because of that, basing is the most important thing that we learn when you go further into educating yourself on hair. So it slows the process of burning. The next thing is neutralizing with relaxers. The neutralizing process, the relaxers on a pH scale is from 11 to 14. Talking about disorders. That is the key right now that you need to focus on, is those disorders. When you're in the salon and a mistake happens, then you'll know what I can possibly do to correct that mistake and how damaging is it going to be to the client's scalp. So basing is the number one thing. Sometimes you have to base color. I have a blonde lady that I do, she's very sensitive. And I have to literally base her entire scalp before I do just 20 volume with her. She's a wheat blonde naturally, like you, and we don't do any bleaching on her. I use just a level 12, which is the highest level, with 20 volume, and she gets a perfect color. However, if I don't base her, she'll come back and it's like little, just redness. And it's not major, it's something that easily I correct it, I condition it. But if I don't go through and just really get it, or if she's been like scratching or itching or anything, I see it and she calls me on it. And that's like, you don't want to give someone $180 back, you know? So you want to nail it. Because first and foremost, we are here to get paid, right? So we don't want to be in the habit of giving a client their money back, because we need it. And we've used the product. So we do have to base. Remember the passion that I talk about. The passion will make you remember to put that base on, because it is no joke to have someone come back and they're literally oozing out of their scalp, like pus, really. I've had that happen. Someone shampooed their hair. You can never shampoo your hair before a relaxer. Never. You only want to do a relaxer when a person's like at least a week beforehand, because the irritation from just going back and forth over the scalp opens up the hair to, or the scalp to be able to burn and be irritated. Even if a person has glasses on all day, that area where the glasses is hitting can burn. So you have to remember those things. Does a person wear a headband a lot? If they wear a headband, that area can burn. So you want to ask the proper questions. Second, in neutralizing, I spoke to you about neutralizing color. The lady that I do the blonde on, I have to neutralize her color. So what happens is when that relaxer, my relaxers, I try and use only the relaxers with a pH of 11 and 12. I never use the 14. I have a tester. So I've tested the relaxers that I used. When I study trichology, there's available to you these same things that you can test. I take the extra step to do that. So then if something happens, I know that it's not me. And that's comforting. When I do test and I know that the relaxer is at a level 12, then the neutralizing shampoo only brings it back to maybe a 9 a lot of the times. So then there's an extra step that I do with neutralizing. I take another spray-on neutralizer. The spray-on actually brings it back to a level 4, which I've never felt a residue in the relaxer. When you do a relaxer, the hair feels hard afterwards. So you have to over-condition, condition. With this product of neutralizing, you don't have to do that.
So also, before you do like relaxers or anything like that, like I've learned hands-on that if you don't have that consultation, like make sure you try to get out of them what they've done to their hair before, because we've had situations that I'm at the salon now and ladies literally like screaming because at one point, oh well, I forgot I did do color like last week, and it was, oh, I forgot I did do bleach, and and now her scalp is like swollen. The person in the salon's like not knowing what to do. What do? Do we use neutralizer? At one point we had a client with me, my mom, yogurt was the only thing that made her scalp stop oozing. And it's like you have to really concentrate on like what you have to almost get it out of them, because a lot of times they're gonna act like, oh, I'm not sure, I don't remember, but they know, they remember it, they just want it done. So unless you don't know everything on like everything that has to do with it, then don't do it, because it's on you. And make sure you get those waivers too, so that you're covered. So when they make a mistake and not telling you, then they can't come back and sue you for everything you have, which isn't much at this point. But still.
Those are things that a lot of people, when you ask them to sign something, they don't want to sign it. And they're going to refuse to sign it because they're going to think that you can't do something. So you really have to know these terminologies that they're teaching you. It's for a reason. When people come and talk to me, they talk to me first. And then they relax in the chair. Because I still use the same terminology that I learned in school 24 years ago. So you don't want to just, oh, let me wash your hair. No, you shampoo the hair. So someone's shampooing and they have a license and they're not getting all the stuff out. If you don't get it all out, then it's guaranteed that person is going to come back. So the big thing is to express to your clients, don't wear a $100 shirt when you come and get your hair done. Don't wear a blouse that you just love when you're coming to get color. Remember that. That's a little trick. And if you're going to get it out properly, accurately at that bowl, they're going to get wet. And you don't want silk to get wet. So those are key things that I've seen in the salon where we've had to put things in the cleaners for people because water's gotten on it, and it's just numerous things. So it's very important to do the consultation. In doing the consultation, the importance of them knowing what you're doing and saying what you're doing, it makes a big difference on how they relax. They're dealing with. Keep your books with you. Take it in the back where the color room is and look it up. It's okay to do that. Sometimes I call my mom, and she's 73 because she's a specialist in gray hair. So sometimes I call her, Mom, call someone at that moment.
Do you all do your PD tests at your shop?
Yeah, actually I do it with certain things. I just had to do one. How do we determine after doing a test, a skin test or patch test or whatever, you determine by the redness. If there's redness after 10, 15 minutes, or I've seen where people have literally gotten beet red, almost as red as their shirt, on a natural product, not even a chemical product, a natural product. I have a product that I use as a trichologist that literally opens up the pore to receive the moisture and everything that is needed. 2 people literally beet red. 100 people are successful on it. I can't stop using it because 100 is better than 2, right? So the 2 people, you just never can use that on. So when you see the redness, you can't do it. If you see that they're just barely hint of red, then you base them more. And you base them every time. Just like the blonde I was talking about. I just have to go through those extra steps. I don't not do her color, because she'll go somewhere else, but I take those extra precautionary steps. Extra relax, extra base. Like say a person has acne on their face, the face and the scalp are similar. So when I see a person and they have acne, 9 times out of 10 their scalp is probably sensitive. I would probably ask you, have you irritated before? If they've never done it, they probably won't because I'm using all these extra steps. I still neutralize everyone. If you were to come to me to get color, I'll still neutralize you. So that's just a step I take extra to do. I just put some of the product on or here, and then afterward, wipe it off. If there's nothing there, then we're safe. Because most people do break out like right away.
Can I say something? The state says 24-hour PD test, but it's not likely that a client is going to come to you, do a PD test today, and she's going to come back to you tomorrow. We do that in school, but out there it's not likely. But by you putting the chemical, if they're not going to get a breakout within 15 minutes or an allergy within 15 minutes, they're probably not. It's not going to develop later. In 12 hours, it's not going to develop. It would have developed when the contact happened. So you would get some kind of.
You would get a sign. You would get a sign. Just by what you said. You've been getting color, many years, I'm sure, and no one's ever done it. So that means that when you go out there, you're going to be faced with people that challenge you on why are you doing this to me when no one else has done it and it's never been a problem. Well, I just want to make sure that you're safety first. So in doing what I'm asking you is just we need to develop a relationship of being, I want you to be confident that I know what I'm doing and that I care about your safety. So those are things you can say. It's not about, going to court or whatever, or that I'm not knowing what I'm going to do. It's just I want to be safe. and I want you safe.
And stuff like that actually sets you apart from other people in the
It
salon
really
as well,
does.
because the salon I work at, nobody does a PD test or anything like that, and I've never done one, to tell you the truth. But when people come in and I've kind of had situations where, maybe my scalp kind of hurts, then it's like you can do one. But if you have a consultation, there's no like red flags, then of course, just based off of what I've seen so far. So it's really just off of you and your consultation and how you choose to go about like situations like that. So if there's situations where, you're kind of skeptical, you look through the hair, you see, and you kind of just, I'd rather not do it today and we'll come another day. So it's really how you want to take it, but it's all up to you in protecting yourself and protecting the client. So you kind of have to think of that first before you want to do it.
And it's important because I have clients, I have a guy that has a major condition, and I do like extremely base him. I mean like pack it on, and we do a chemical on him. He irritates every time. However, I have other topical solutions that I use because I am a trichologist. Microdermabrasions. You know about those, right? Well, I'm developing a way to do a microdermabrasion on the scalp. And in that, from the buildup, from the different shampoos, silicone is in the conditioners now. Silicone coats the hair. Supposedly it makes the hair feel really great. However, it does nothing good for the scalp. So all of this stuff is being compacted on the scalp and it doesn't really come off easily. So then you come back and follow it with the shampoos that are getting everything off, right? The revitalizing and stuff. So in that, the scalp is the one that keeps the hair growing freely. So if you're getting clients and their hair is not growing, something's wrong. So I'm developing a system now. I'm doing like a microdermabrasion to the scalp. And so far, I've been very successful with it. So I haven't mastered it yet. But I'm just saying these are the things that you will see in a salon, that people are having the same issues with their face as here. So keep that in mind when you think about a relaxer.
And is it a different type of neutralizer than is
The
used
same
with-
neutralizer.
So it's- Okay.
The same neutralizer. I use the same neutralizer. I don't do permanent waves. I don't do any of those.
You
So-
don't do any APG-based chemicals? No, so it would be a different neutralizer than we're using.
It would be, yeah, if you were doing permanent wave, the neutralizer that
What's the
comes
chemical,
with
what's the chemical basis of the one that you use?
sodium hydroxide.
Oh, okay.
So in using the relaxers that I use, I neutralize all the time. In using color, which I use Redken color, I use Clairol, Soul Color, Beijing I use on people that have real stubborn gray. I don't particularly like Beijing, it does dry the hair out. Same thing with relaxers. There's sodium hydroxide relaxers, but they're also the two different types that I use are no lye relaxers and lye relaxers. The ones that you mix with the chemical, those they design because they don't burn as easily on the scalp. However, the mixing relaxers do dry the hair out more. They have less conditioner in it. I don't use a whole lot of the mixing relaxers.
Do you still use a base with the no base relaxers?
I use base with everything. And I'm not just saying that. Shamila is my assistant. Do I base?
Yes.
I base. She bases for me. And she knows why. We've had situations, right? We've had situations. It will occur. People do burn. We don't know why all the time. The client that burned that Shamila is familiar with, she gets facials a lot. She doesn't have acne per se, but she has a very dry skin. The dryness also causes like the skin closures, and literally there's dry issues with people where the dryness and the itchiness comes, and it may not be a condition because she doesn't really have a scalp condition, but she does irritate easily and it needs a lot of time. Shamila and I also did a texturizer, which is also with sodium hydroxide relaxer. The texturizer is on coily hair. I mean hair that's really tight. If you have wavy hair and you texturize it, it's going to go straight. You don't want to do it. But if it's really coily, then you can texturize it to give it nice locks. And it works really well on guys or with people that just want to loosen up their curl. It kills the hair. And we want to be able to follow it with a color. We want to be able to do some other fun things with the hair. So in that, we can't break it down totally. In a texturizer, we didn't want that, but I knew from just experience the texture of a person's hair and be able to texturize only people who have the tight curl. Remember that. It's not for wavy curls. Always know your basics. My name is Linda Jackson. My mom is Olivia Jackson. And now we have Kelly Wood.